Hello students, this is Vitron and I'm here to do a tutorial on how to create shading and highlighting on your iconic illustration so that way it doesn't just look like these big blobs of pink or brown, but rather have these complex highlights and shadows which give, as you can see in this illustration here, more of the kind of look you're looking for in terms of you've got definition in the arms and hands. We're noticing some face definition here. So let me go ahead and try to show you how that is done. So I'm going to zoom in on his face and I'm going to go ahead and really quick copy and paste these onto another layer that I can hide because I don't want to lose all my hard work. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do it above. I'm going to do shadows and highlights. Alright, and then I'm going to paste them here. Shift Command V to paste them in place. And then hide the eyeball. Okay, so we're starting from scratch, and of course you need to see what's underneath the skin. See what a difference those shades and highlights make. Let's go ahead and turn down the opacity of the skin. And as always, I'm going to remind you guys to make sure that you're up in your windows and that your workspace is in typography and that your toolbars are advanced. Otherwise, some of the things that I show you how to do, you won't be able to do. Now that you've checked your windows to make sure that those settings apply and that you have your layers window open here, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we learned last week that our pencil tool might be hiding underneath the shaper tool. Remember, if you left click and hold any of the squares with the little white triangles in the bottom right hand corner, you're going to find other tools stacked upon each other. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm also going to lock the skin layer and get on the shadows and highlights layer, because what happens is sometimes when we draw on top of another layer is it connects and you can't undo it. So, okay, I'm on the shadow and highlights, and I want to go ahead and draw this shape here because it's darker than the rest of his nose, right? The nose is just an extension of our skin on our face. All right, it's not letting me do on the shadows, and I'm not quite sure why. Let's see. Oh, that's weird. I don't have anything locked anymore. Why is it not allowing me to draw on this? Okay, click off of that. Pencil tool. There we go. Okay, we're gonna do the shadow right here. And what we might want to do is, what I'm worried about is that if we have the skin visible when we use the eyedropper tool, it's going to pick up the color that's already behind it. So we need to make the skin not visible, so that way, this is so weird that it's locking me up on the shadow and highlight layer. There it is. If we go ahead and we are using the eyedropper on another layer, we're only going to pick up the color of the other layer. So as you can see, this is some of my old work. I'll go ahead and move it and just show you what I did. Here's where we draw the shadow. Okay. And then I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to get that darker shade in there. Great. And then I see this big highlight in there, so I drew a big long highlight shape here. And then as you can see, I colored it using the eyedropper tool, the lightest part of his skin, and then so on and so forth for every little part you can think of. On the face, you want to get underneath the jawline. If you're going to do stubble, you want to create that darker shadow. You want to make sure that you get the shadows that differentiate the neck from the head, so that way it doesn't look like the head's just a big blob that runs into his t-shirt. The same thing with the biceps. Let me go ahead and turn. Let's see, I've got his arms visible, but I've just got his skin not visible. So let's turn back on the skin. So as you can see, I did the different colors on the tops of his biceps and the shadow underneath his arm and the highlight there. And what you want to do to make it look more blended. Now, some of you guys like the cutout look, and that's fine. It's your icon. I really don't care if you want a more cutout look or if you want more of this blended makeup look, contouring look, but let me show you how to do that. So when you click on one of the items, you can go up to Effect, go to Stylize, and go to Feather. And you'll see that it's telling me right now the radius it feathered it down to was 0.75, and you can play around with that if you want less of a feather. Like let's say I do 0.50 and watch. Okay, notice it doesn't feather it quite as much. Or you can also come over here and play around with the opacity and have it blend that way too as well. Some people really enjoy that feature. But I've done that on all of my pieces here, but over on his forearm, I chose to leave these two pieces just as simple outlines. And so you can see the difference between the blended and then the simple outlines. And again, it's your choice. I just want to see shadows and highlights as part of your grade. So that, my friends, is how you do shading and highlighting. Goodbye.